A show that I used to watch, and I thought I watched all the episodes, but I have not watched them all. I have watched most of them, and that is Married with Children. I love the show. I mean, I always have, and I've kind of run out of shows to watch, so I decided to go back and start watching some other shows that I loved in the past. Me and Chelsea are watching it, and Chelsea watched some in the past, but she hasn't even seen close to all of them, and she has been laughing. And I love it when I find a show that we can watch and laugh together. Now, it was on for 11 years. I had no idea. So that's now the second show that I've talked about that's been on for 11 years. That's a long time. But it almost got shut down on season 3 because of a woman who boycotted the show because of an episode that she saw that, it upset her. And in the end, she actually helped the show get higher ratings and more views. Down below, I'm going to have a link to some of the interviews and to the Wikipedia. The interviews I think was awesome. You'll get to see how they picked who to be on the show and how they had a problem finding Al Bundy, the guy to play Al Bundy, because they interviewed a lot or auditioned a lot of people, and they didn't like the way that they did it. And he was one person they didn't really want to pick. Anyway, but they ended up picking him because the way he did it the way that they wanted. Anyway, I love the show. I have had that same kind of humor. And in the interview, they point out the same thing that I noticed. A lot of the older shows, there'll be like a conflict, and by the end of the episode, it's resolved. You know what I mean? The Brady Bunch and shows like that, there'll be some kind of conflict, something happens, but by the end of it, it's resolved. And Married with Children is not like that. It will end a lot of times crappy and unresolved. And that's the way life really is. When I was a kid, I always thought, man, I would love to have a family like the Waltons, where everybody's close and all that. And the Brady Bunch and Little House on the Prairie, stuff like that. The old kind of morals and standards. But that's not reality, though. Reality is people don't get along and all that, and people do insult each other. I've seen it a million times in other relationships. And so Married with Children was the first time I ever seen a show like that. And in fact, it did open up for other shows like that. Fox didn't. Fox was basically just starting. This was their main show, and I think it was awesome. I'm glad that it survived the boycott. I'm sure that woman's regretting doing that, because if she had just shut up, it might not have helped them get views and ratings. But I'm glad. I think the show is awesome. And in my relationships, I have found women like me with my same kind of dark humor, and so I've cracked jokes on them, and they've cracked jokes on me. They try to outdo me, and it's funny. We sit there and we crack up. Like me and Chelsea do it, And we never cross the line, though. We don't go, like really being rude, And yes, on the show, he can. But as you see, Peggy just tries to outdo him. And same thing with the kids. They both try to outdo each other. Insult, and then a bigger insult. Trying to. Sometimes it's a fail. But I love the show, and it makes me laugh, and that makes me feel good. And, it didn't matter to me if that show ended, though, at the end of the 11 years. I was satisfied, with the show. Other shows, I didn't want them to end and stuff like that. But this one, it been a long time, but I didn't know it was 11 years. I just knew it had been a long time, but wow, 11 years. So, yeah. So anyway, if you ever watched that show, what did you think? What do you think of the humor? It just cracks me up, I'm telling you. And I'm only on season 3. I still got a ways to go, so there's going to be a hell of a lot more laughs. But, it's not for everybody. Just like they said, it's not for everybody. Some people think it's really nasty and rude and crude. But don't worry. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of the show? And did you even watch it? Like I said, Chelsea only watched some. Not even close to all of them. I watched almost. All right. Thank you for watching. You guys have a good one, and God bless.